Words of Sri Aurobindo from the book The Mother, from the collective works of Sri Aurobindo, volume 32, page 186, topic The Mother's Presence, subtopic The Psychic and the Mother's Presence. Sri Aurobindo says, the mother's presence is always there, but if you decide to act on your own idea, your own notion of things, your own will, and demand upon things, then it is quite likely that her presence will get veiled. It is not she who withdraws from you, but you who draw back from her. But your mind and vital don't want to admit that, because it is always their preoccupation to justify their own moments. If the psychic were allowed its full predominance, this won't happen. It would have felt the feeling, but it would have at once said, there must have been some mistake in me. A mist has arisen in me, and it would have looked and found the cause. 25th March 1932. Question. When I am alone, I feel a sweet flow of love for the mother and surrender to her welling out from my heart. But when I am in her physical presence, I do not feel this love. Why does this happen? For this, our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, it is when you live in the psychic that there is this feeling, but the psychic commands at present only a part of the mind and vital. It does not yet control of the most external parts. That is why you do not feel it when in the mother's physical presence. Date 25th December 1933. Sri Aurobindo says, if you feel the mother's presence for the greater part of the day, it means that it is your psychic being that is active and feels like that. For without the activity of the psychic, it would not be possible. Therefore, your psychic being is there and not at all far off. 14th March 1935. What you feel is not imagination. Sri Aurobindo says, you have been going more and more into the psychic consciousness deep within you. When one is in the psychic, one begins to feel the presence of the Divine Mother always with one, and this becomes more and more frequent, constant, vivid, and real as the psychic develops its power. This presence is felt in different ways by different sadhaks, but it is a true experience of the sadhana. It is what we mean when we say that a sadhak must come to feel always the presence of the mother in his heart or within him. For, in fact, she is there always, only her presence is veiled by the ordinary movements of the mind, vital and physical. But when these become quiet and the psychic unveils itself, then one feels the presence of the divine within. 29th Feb 1936. Sri Aurobindo says, he must go into himself and find the presence of the Divine Mother within and the psychic behind the heart, and from there the knowledge will come and also the power to dissolve the inner obstacles. 21st December 1936. Sri Aurobindo says, it is good that you have come out of the bad condition. It is true that before the darshan or at that time attacks are apt to be violent, for the forces that oppose are very conscious and use their whole strength to spoil the darshan if they can. What has to be gained is the constant prominence of that part which is always aware of the mother. It is, of course, the psychic, for that though it can be covered over for the time being, cannot be misled by contrary suggestions. Once it is awake, it is always re-emerges from obscuration. That is the guarantee of the final arrival at the goal. But if it can be maintained in front or even consciously felt behind in all conditions, then the stages of the way also becomes comparatively safe and can be passed with greater ease and security. 6th Feb 1937. Question. In the evening meditation, there was an intense moment of surrender from my heart. I had the feeling of mother's presence immediately in front of me, and aspiration rose up from below. There was a willing and loving surrender from the heart, from the entire being, as if for fulfillment. I suppose a psychic being came to the front. For the Sri Aurobindo says you had the psychic condition there, and that means a coming of the influence of the psychic being to the front. Question: but why did I feel the mother's presence in front of me and not within? For the Sri Aurobindo says it is when there is a complete psychic opening within that there is a presence within. The presence in front means that it was with you, but it had still to enter within. Next subtopic: feeling the mother's presence at work. It is for most people not easy to feel the mother's presence with the work. They feel as if they were doing the work, the mind getting busy and not having the right passivity or quietude. Union with the mother. Sri Aurobindo says, you write that your psychic being is not awakened, but your psychic being is already awakened. If it were not, you wouldn't have had these experiences. The inner being which you feel in union with the mother is a psychic being. As you probably have not quite understood what I wrote to you, it must be better if you show it to Nalini my letter and ask him to explain you the difference between the three layers of the being about which I have spoken in the letter. The innermost psychic being which is now awakened in you, the external being which you feel doing work while the inner psychic is in union with the mother, the inner mental, vital and physical consciousness which connects the both but of which you are not yet conscious. Next question: is it true that one should always feel that it is a divine presence which moves one and does everything for one? Would it be possible to feel it without a union with the Divine Mother? For the Sri Aurobindo says, no, that is itself a union with the Mother, to feel the divine presence above or in you and moving you. Date 14 July 1933. Nowadays, I feel that my blood flow is united with the Mother is the question. Nowadays, I feel that even my blood flow is united with the Mother. When I breathe, it is the Mother breathing in me. And when I breathe out, she is who breathes out of me. Please tell me how my sadhana is proceeding. For that, Sri Aurobindo says it is going all right. The more the union with the Mother increases, the better for the sadhana. Question: I do not understand what some sadhaks mean by union with the Mother. Sometimes one feels a nearness, but that does not give one the perception that the Mother has, the knowledge, purity, guidance. In what way can it be called a union? For the Sri Aurobindo says, I suppose they are trying to feel the Mother's presence, so if they get some sort of feeling or nearness, they call it union. But of course, there is only one step towards union. Union is much more than that. Question: while sitting in the meditation hall, I felt a sort of oneness with the Mother's consciousness, but these days it is not possible to go deep in the meditation at all. Perhaps it is not even necessary if there is receptivity in the waking state. For the Sri Aurobindo says, what is most important is the change of consciousness of which this feeling of oneness is a part. The going deep in meditation is only a means. It is not always necessary if the great expectations or the experiences come easily without it. Yes, that is a true basis. In the perfect equality, wholly united with the Mother, so the higher consciousness can be lived and wrought even into the outer parts of the nature. Question: I wrote a prayer to the Mother. Her answer to it was, open your heart and you will find me always there. What does exactly she mean, already there? For the Sri Aurobindo says, what Mother means was this, that when there is a certain opening of the heart, you will find that there was always the eternal union, the same that you experience always in the self above. Question: I saw a vision, a basket full of flowers, gratitude. What does it symbolize? Sri Aurobindo says it is the gratitude to the divine that indicates which will come as a soul opens to the light and truth and gets the experience and the joy of the union with the Mother. These are the words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo.